Streaming live worldwide on www.vmcplanetradio.co.za.
Welcome to the Platinum Mornings. Yeah, it's been a while. At starting the show. So we had a song. The first song we played was a song by Black Coffee titled Drive, and it features Delilah Montangu. And then we had Burna Boy for My Hand, and it features Ed Sheeran, and then another song called Inhliziyo. And then the last song we played was called Jesu Utlile. Yeah, man, Zimkita will be proud. Uzuko udlale I gospel in the morning. Marage, it's scaling ama eyewitness news today. I mean, not eyewitness news. I'm top stories. Wow, my head is all over the place. So firstly, tens of thousands evacuated California storms with 17 dead. So tens of thousands of people were under evacuation orders in California on Tuesday as the state's ravaged by the latest in a barrage of storms that have left at least 17 people dead. Torrential downpours caused flash flooding, closed key highlights, toppled trees, and swept away drivers and passengers, including a 5-year-old boy who remains missing in Central California, with even more rains and snow set to batter America's most populous state. Yeah, man, these headlines are finally in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles is known to be like the city, man, and it's actually part of my dream, like. But then only I'm for like a short while, maybe like a 6 month, 1 year type of thing. Yeah, but then man, this is sad news via the floods and stuff, and apparently it caused so much damage for even a child to disappear. And what if it's even more than one child? On record, they like including a 5-year-old child who remains missing in Central California. But then what if the ones that are not recorded? Yeah, man. This reminds me of that baptism thing that happened a couple of months ago, if not a couple of weeks ago. La is South Africa. So around just above hundreds of thousands California homes and businesses were without power on Tuesday, according to the tracking site poweroutage.us. So a fresh storm is said to pound the state with as much as 7 inches, which is 18 centimeters of new rain in Northern California by Wednesday, and several more feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains, the National Weather Service said. So the National Weather Service, also known as the NWS, described an endless onslaught of atmospheric river events that is the most powerful storm system since 2005. Yeah, that was a while ago, 2005. Bingena neskolo, maybe shaba grade R or crèche or whatnot. Yeah, so California Governor Gavin Newsom said at least 34,000 people had been told to flee the storm, with more danger expected. The fact is that we are not out of the woods. We expect the storms to continue at least through the 18th of this month, he told reporters. So they're expecting this to happen like the whole week, starting now. Like, I do not wish to be there, man. So yeah, we now have 17 confirmed, and I underscore confirmed tragically, just confirmed deaths, he later said. So the town of Montecito, home to Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle, was pounded by rain, threatening dangerous mudslides on hills already sodden by weeks of downpours and sparking an evacuation order. Because the mountains are right there, when it really rains, it comes down at a really high rate. It's pretty dangerous pretty quickly, resident Daniel DiMuya told the AFP. That's the price of living in such a beautiful place. When it rains like this, it causes a lot of distraction. So Montecito, whose multi-million-dollar properties are surrounded by breathtaking California countryside, is particularly vulnerable to the mudslide because it sits at the foot of a mountain range that was ravaged by fire 5 years ago. So hundreds of square miles were scorched, stripping the hillside of the vegetation that normally keeps soil in place. but an evacuation order for the town, home to stars including Ellen DeGeneres, Gwyneth Paltrow, Katy Perry, and Rob Lowe, was lifted on Tuesday. So there were tragedies across the state. In St. Louis Obispo County, authorities called of a search of a 5-year-old as rushing waters were too dangerous for drivers, Fox News reported, quoting a county official. A child who fled with his mother from their car as it was inundated by flood waters has not been declared dead. The mother was rescued. Yeah, at least, yo. So the two motorists died in a crash north of Bakersfield after a tree crashed onto the road, and destruction was widespread, with whole communities flooded in some areas. So Dominic King said that his restaurant in Capitola had been wrecked. It's a lot worse than expected, he told the AFP. And all my windows in the back are completely blown out. All my tables are kind of strewn around my floors, and our floors are wrapped. And so I guess the waves came up from under the building. Yeah, man, I praise to California, man. I really hope everyone makes it through. And yeah, man. So otherwise, in other news, in Brazil, the Brazilian authorities seeking to punish the mob that stormed the halls of power in Brasilia issued arrest warrants Tuesday for 2 former senior officials, one of them a close ally of a far-right ex-president Jair Bolsonaro. Yeah. So one of them is Anderson Torres, who used to be Bolsonaro's justice minister and lately served as security chief in the capital. He was fired after Sunday's stunning violence, which was reminiscent of the January 6, 2001 insurrection in Washington and brought global condemnation. So Anderson's failure to act as thousands of Bolsonaro supporters overran Congress, the presidential palace, and the Supreme Court in potentially criminal judge Alexandra Moraes of the Supreme Court said. He also issued an arrest warrant for Fabio Augusto, who led the military police in Brasilia and was also removed from his job after Sunday's mob violence. News reports said that he was already in custody. Brazilian democracy is not to be struck, much less destroyed, by terrorist criminals, the judge wrote in a decision. So Torres was on vacation in the United States on Sunday as the mob ran amok. On Tuesday, he denied any complicity in the events and said that he will return to Brazil and defend himself. So Bolsonaro has also been in the United States since the end of at the end of December, skipping the inauguration of successor Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. On Tuesday, Bolsonaro left the Florida hospital where he had been receiving treatment for intestinal problems stemming from the stabbing in 2018. Yeah, man, so this low-key reminds me of the time they arrested President Jacob Zuma. But at least there were no violent acts. Further, there were riots, I think a day or two later. But it wasn't as messed up as the way Brazil is being described at this very moment. So yeah, at least 17 dead in latest Peru clashes. At least 17 people died Monday in Peru as protesters trying to storm an airport clashed with security forces in the latest violent spasm of a month-old political crisis. The new chapter of bloodshed took place in the southeastern of Juliaca in the Puno region. An official in the local ombudsman office told the AFP. And the official said that the previous death toll of 12 rose to as 5 people among 40 or so wounded in clashes died in the injuries. Like others have for the past month, these protesters were demanding the departure of President Dina Boluarte, who took over after the ouster and the arrest of the president of Pedro Castillo on December the 7th. Castillo's removal after he tried to dissolve Congress and start ruling decree. He faced several corruption probes, has triggered weeks of clashes nationwide in this country, beset by years of political instability. And protesters angry over the removal of the leftist Castillo want Bolate to resign and new elections right away. They have already been moved up from 2026 to April of 2024. And overall, with these new facilities, the clashes sparked by the ouster of Castillo have now left 39 people dead around the country. And the people killed on Monday in Juliaca had gunshot wounds, an official at Carlos Mong Hospital told Peruvian TV channel. And the police are shooting at us, one demonstrator who declined to give his name told the AFP. We asked Dina to resign, he added, accept the fact that people do not want you. What is happening to Peruvians are slaughtering each other. I ask for calm. Juliaca's mayor Oscar Caceres said in a desperate plea for peace. Alberto Otarola, the new president's chief of staff, said thousands of protesters had approached the airport Monday and around 2,000 of them attacked police while trying to storm the facility with makeshift weapons and gunpowder. Yeah, man, so yeah, what's going on in the world? It's Brazil, it's Peru, it's a lot. It's California. Like, nah, man. And sometimes when I read about these other countries, like a part of me feels like I feel like bunch of this term people use, bittersweet, whenever I compare it with South Africa, in a sense that I always think South Africa has it bad, and then you read about all these other stuff and you're like, nah, they got it bad. But at the same time, when it comes to these protests and stuff, like for example what's happening in Peru, they forced the government to not prolong elections, which was supposed to happen in 2026. They brought them 2 years earlier, so it's gonna be in 2024. So the thing is, the inspirational moment for me is that they are taking action. Like Abantu Bada, the civilians of that side, they are taking action, whereas Tina, I don't recall participating in a strike of some sort, in a protest of some sort. I feel like I was too young for the FISMA's fall. Although I saw it with my own eyes. There was a time I was in Bram. A lot was happening. A lot was happening, man. And I remember after it died down a bit, as I walked through the streets of Bram, like that was my first taste of tear gas. Like it was lingering in the air, and I was like, am I considered a freedom fighter now? Am I? Yeah, man. Yeah. Athi siqhubeke ngisho athi sishaye music interlude bese ngizonithola on the other side or kanjani. Fidi.
Capping out the bag and smoke today.
Yeah, that was Ellie Goulding, a song called Like You Do. Before that we had Jesus Walk by Kanye West, and then we had J. Cole, Friends. Friends, yeah, but let's get back to it. So, continuing on my top stories, Gauteng Health MEC refutes 80 million rand claims for Tambo Hospital repair. So, the Gauteng MEC for Health, Nomantu Nkomo Relebohoko, has refuted claims that damage to the Tambo Memorial Hospital will amount to 18 million rands. And at least 37 people were killed and parts of the hospital were gutted when a gas tanker exploded nearby on Christmas Eve. And the Gauteng MEC for Infrastructure Development, Lebogang Maile, put the cost of the damage at 18 million rand soon after reviewing the extent of it. But Nkomo Relohoko speaking at a healing service for healthcare workers on Tuesday, differed from his assessment. And the Democratic Nursing Organization of South Africa, also known as DENOSA, was the first to raise concerns about the hefty 80 million rands estimation, fearing it was deliberate misrepresentation aimed at looting. I suspected it. Mina ngazile. I just don't want to say it because I'm damages, and I'm not the person with that type of knowledge. Marakumbula beba sky konjeni stadium it cost about what million. This no streams as we support. And now I think my memory is gorgeous, man. Like every time I do the segment, shang my memory left and right. Yeah, man, I should probably write a memoir. So now Gauteng MEC for Health Nomantu Ngomori Lehoko says she doesn't believe the cost will exceed 18 million rands. She says she will ensure the funds to fix the facility don't land in the hands of corrupt officials. We don't thumb suck the amount you are building a specific building there, specific things we must do. In fact, let's not move beyond 18 million rands when we are renovating any hospital in the province. So Nkomo says a quality assessment still needs to be done before the exact amount required for the repairs is known. So they haven't even assessed what got damaged and X, Y, and Z. They just thumb sucked the amount that was due. Yeah, man. So yes, I actually wonder if like for example, if my parent was a politician and he or she had a privilege of getting a tender, but he or she was looting, like how would I feel as their child? Like would I rise? Would I report? I believe I'm a good citizen, man. The other day, some lady we see 50 rand in the mall, and for some reason I'm the only one who saw her drop it, and I picked it up in front of everybody. Like as I'm picking it up, I was picking it up so slow, expecting someone to push me. So I picked it up, and then my conscience is like, and then I gave it to her, and she's like, yo, nyabonga booty. And I'm like, I feel it. So yeah, man, damages to Western Cape office estimated between 50k and 100k, says the gift of the givers. So the humanitarian aid organization Gift of the Givers says the damage caused to its Cape Town office during a burglary this week was estimated between 50,000 rand and 100,000 rand. Yo, I was sure about Tatilamus. And I just thought it's like a TV screen, you know. And the 50,000, between 50,000 and 100,000. Yeah, the break-in at the Athlone premises took place in the early hours on Monday, the 9th of January 2023. Electronics and donations were stolen. However, some of the items has since been recovered on Tuesday. 11 people were arrested in connection with the crime. And Gift of the Givers founder, Dr. Imitiaz Suleiman, said the law must take its course. If anybody does wrong, they have to pay the price. We've got to a set standard. We keep telling government we want to see people in orange overalls, the politicians, and if we hold back, what's the difference between us and them? We have to make sure that we set an example, and we pray that kids reform in the process. Yeah, man, I hope the same too. I hope labantu labatholakale, man, cause like not even them, like everybody who commits crime, man. Ingati the way we think about tackling crime could like be vice versa, you know. Cause I hate how we can only call a mahata after a crime happens, and then bafika lady on top of that bafika late, and now saying and there's probably not enough evidence and stuff, you know. Yeah. But again, let's end the segment on a lighter note. Ingoba, it was dragging, it was depressing, it was wars here, riots there, natural disasters and whatnot. So let's end it with Somizi. So Somizi gives Mzansi a sneak peek into his 2023 vision board. So South African media personality Somizi Mhlongo has given his followers a glimpse into what they can expect from him this year. And the 50-year-old posted a video on social media where he shared his vision board from 2022. And he said, as you can see, I have all my plans for 2022, but not all of them came to fruition. And Somizi spoke about what he achieved the last year and shared what his plans are for 2023. And he says, I want to do a podcast ASAP. It's part of my goals for 2023, he added. Yeah, podcast is so easy. I feel like that would be fire though. Like, I can't hate. I feel it. So yeah, Somizi said that his vision board will soon be updated with new projects. I'll bombard myself with a whole lot of things so that should I not be able to achieve 4 of them, even if I achieve 1, I've done well for myself, he explained. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You should really appreciate a win. This life thing is not easy, man. Like, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Like, I feel like we young, especially young people, man, like Tina, the generation Y and Z and millennials and everybody, like, we sort of like rush ourselves. We sort of like rush ourselves in a sense that we want to achieve our goals with immediate effect, and we are like, be kind to yourself, man. Like, no more out of 5 goals you have for the year, just achieve 1. Book grand. Yeah. So he later Somizi encourages audience to work hard and not to be too hard on themselves with their goals for the year. Make sure that the 2023 only becomes your 2020 free of applying negative, free of financial burdens, free of emotional turmoils, free of everything that doesn't fit and suit your body, your spirit, your heart, and your mind and soul, he said. Yeah, man. I support Aliwi. I support. What's this? I wish I could see the video though. Like, I wanna see if vision board like does really like have a board based on my pictures and stuff, because that is what a vision board is, right? I feel it. So yeah, and yeah, there's this funny thing I heard. Is it funny or, well, it's not funny, it's peculiar. This peculiar thing I heard about 2023. Apparently 2023 is the same as 2017. So whatever day your birthday was in 2017 is the same day this year. Like, Valentine's Day is the same day as 2017 this year. Like, yeah, man, I just thought that was interesting. But again, let's share music interlude so ngoba siqedile ngama top stories. Sothini dlala tracky, sithi traffic, and then sithi your platinum classics. Yeah.
So crazy right now.
Yeah, that was your Platinum Classics, brought to you by Platinum Mornings from VMC. Otherwise, if you're interested in knowing what that song was titled, it was a 4-page letter by Aliyah, which was released in the year 1996. Another album, One in a Million. Bese before lo Sadlala I Want You by Marvin Gaye, and on Iphume in 1976. Oh, for sure, because one of my parents, I feel like around this year, not this year exactly, mara yeah. And then saqala ngo Keith Sweat, igama lengoma ibiza Twisted, yona yaphuma 1996. And yeah, that one was, I think it got nominated for the Soul Train Music Award for Best R&B and Soul Single. Mara, if you're tuning in now, we sort of like halfway in the show. Sesifunda ngama sesokhuluma ngama what's this trending stories in entertainment. So soqala internationally bese sithi South Africa. So Cardi B, Offset shoot Super Bowl ad loving some Mickey D's. So yeah, Cardi B and Offset are taking the Super Bowl by storm with some lovey-dovey burgers and fries because they've teamed up with the Golden Arcs for major ad, and it's all about love. So sources tell TMZ the couple shot a commercial for McDonald's right around Christmas time, which was filmed with a small crew. Even though we are told the scale of the ad is going to be huge and it's expected to make a splash on the game. So Cardi B and Offset shot it solo, so no kids in this, and our sources tell us it's Valentine's Day themed. Unclear what exactly is going to be depicted, but we imagine it will be lovey-dovey, which CB and Offset already are on their own. So obviously this is going to air on February, around about the 12th, and the day of SBLVII, just a couple of days before Valentine's Day. And as for why these two decided to shoot during Christmas holiday, we are told everyone felt it would be the best day to get some work done, seeing how everyone, celebrities included, usually take it easy. It also gave them a good window to get some work done without distractions. And this is Cardi's second go around when it comes to Super Bowl ads, and she famously did one for Pepsi a few years ago, and now she's been tapped by another giant corporation. And the Super Bowl also holds a special place in Offset and Cardi's hearts, generally since it's where they went public as a pair. Remember, we first saw Offset and Cardi during the SB in Houston in 2017, an early sign that they were a thing. Yeah, so Cardi B, Offset bashaya advert yase McDonald's. That must be a lot of money. McDonald's, imagine getting sponsored in McDonald's. Yeah, but I'll put it in the air. Zuko McDonald's bona one day. Yeah, so locally Anele Mdoda weighs in on the controversial BMW advert. So as BMW continues to face backlash over its latest controversial advertisement, local celebrities are speaking out against the brand on their social media platforms. Taking to Twitter on Monday, radio and TV personality Anele Mdoda weighed in on the advertisement that was social media users have deemed a mockery of African spirituality. Dear BMW, whilst I have mad love for you, your ad agency does not get it at all. Yeah, Mdoda said. So, BMW's latest ad features a black woman standing next to one of the brand's latest BMW 5 Series model. Displayed behind her is the phrase, "We are our ancestors' wildest dreams." The word ancestors is crossed out. The controversial marketing campaign prompted a debate on social media, with many calling the advert offensive as well as racist. And the concept of ancestry is not exclusive to Africans. BMW has a lineage and a series of cars which they made. My view, someone commented over there. So yeah, the media personality and poet Mtsuki Mazai came out with guns blazing after she saw the ad. She shared her perspective on a video clip on her Instagram and Twitter on Sunday, and she said, I'm so disgusted. What is racism about now? What in the racism is this now? So Tina, our spiritual beliefs are not respected and we must be used for white capital for financial gain. FBMW, she captured in a post. And what level of racism is this now? Where our things get used to sell white things? Which marketing agency authorized that? And why the F is BMW being racist? She also said later on. So yeah, I still haven't seen this BMW thing. Oh nah, we are our ancestors while the stream. Oh, okay. I get it. But for some reason I thought it would be a video. Okay, I feel we're halfway through the what's trending in entertainment news. So shy music break. Yeah, let's catch me on the other side rather.
Ingabe uno-grade 10, ugrade 11 noma ugrade 12? Lokho akunkinga. I-VMC Academy iyakwamukela. Sinezifundo ze-IT kanye ne-media. Sine-technical support, software development, sound engineering, film and TV production, advertising kanye ne-journalism. Ukwazi kabanzi noma ukuthola imininingwane ethe xaxa, shayela kule nombolo u-011 051 5155 011 051 5155 noma uthumele i-email kuleli kheli admin@vutlarimarketing.com admin@vutlarimarketing.com. VMC Academy, creating employers and employees.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to experience is power of streaming radio. VMC Planet Radio.
Fitty. Yeah, so the song was Untitled 05. Nah. And then it has a date. The date is the 21st of the 9th month, 2014. And this is a song by Kendrick Lamar. It features J-Rock. And it's another album, Untitled Unmastered. Well, it wasn't an album. It was more of a EP or mixtape. I remember this project. This is one of my favorite projects that has ever dropped from Kendrick Lamar. And before that, we had Beware, which is a song by Big Sean featuring Lil Wayne, and it came out under the album Hall of Fame back in 2013. And this was the album's third single. And yeah, through Good Music and Def Jam. So yeah, man. And then before that one, like the very first song we played was Pretend, by a song by an American singer called Tinashe, yeah. She released as her second single from her debut album titled Aquarius. The song, which was produced by a producer Detail, features a guest verse from Harlem-based rapper A$AP Rocky. So the composition of this song, like in an interview apparently with Rap Up, if I remember correctly, Tinashe talked about the concept behind the song, and she said the song with A$AP Rocky is definitely kind of contemporary sounding song. It doesn't really sound like a lot of other songs on the radio, and eventually it didn't. And it has a mid tempo, and it feels like kind of like minimalistic in the track. And when speaking about the song's meaning, I remember Tinashe had said that Pretend is basically about when you're in a relationship, and instead of dealing with the stuff you have to deal with in a relationship, but you prefer to not to do that, and so therefore you decide not to do that, you just go on pretending as if everything is fine and everything is okay. And she made the song, she said she made the song because she feels like a lot of people could relate to that concept. Maria, otherwise, when I tell me, do you relate to that concept? Because I don't relate. Yeah. So yeah, man, as we continue our trending stories within the entertainment industry, in the overseas Golden Globes, Jared Kamika is I'm shooting because I'm black. Wait, I'm hosting because I'm black. Jokes about HFPA scandal. So Jared Carmichael says he's hosting the Golden Globes because he just so happens to be a black comedian making fun of the diversity scandal that tarnished the awards show. I remember that, yeah, when everything was so white. Like, and if I remember correctly, I think Jada and Will Smith made it an issue at some point, and then they chose to boycott the Golden Globes that year. So the 80th Golden Globes are underway on NBC Live from the Beverly Hilton, and Jared just gave his opening monologue where he addressed the massive elephant in the room, the diversity controversy involving the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which hands out the awards. Jared addressed the topic head on, refusing to call the HPA racist, but pointing out there wasn't a black member in the group until George Floyd died. Wow. I wanna say too soon, but I feel. Remember, the Golden Globes did not air last year after NBC called out the HFPA for a lack of diversity within the organization. The host of the 2021 show, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, took some shots on the HFPA too. And Jared, like, yes, sometimes when people make jokes as comedians, I feel like some of those jokes come from a deep place, man. Like some white people probably like make racist jokes now. Like, I sometimes wanna, hey man, dude, I feel like you mean it. Like, it's not a joke, you know. Or I actually like the what's this? I actually like the art of stand-up comedy, because you sort of like let out your opinion, but the public is like mind effed because they don't know whether to take it serious or as a joke, and therefore it causes controversy around the world and stuff like that. And one of my favorite comedians, well, two of my favorite comedians that mastered that craft for me is Bill Burr and what's his name? Wow, I forgot my favorite comedian's name. Mara, I mean, this guy trends all the time. How could I forget his name? And I was like, this old guy, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, Dave Chappelle. So yeah, Jared then took a seat on the stage steps and told the crowded room of celebs how he was offered the job, joking that one moment he was making tea at home and the next he was being invited to the black face of an embezzlement white organization. Life comes at you fast. And JC says he called up on one of his friends and advised about taking the gig, and when he told her he was being paid $500,000, he got his answer. And all jokes aside, Jared ended by saying he ultimately took the job because he wanted to perform in front of the star-studded audience, and he doesn't really care about the HFPA's controversial past. But he took the money though. Yeah, and what's happening locally within the entertainment news? So Utanega Don King cautions fans about weight loss scam. So the award-winning actress Tanega Don King has cautioned her 2.2 million fans about the weight loss company using her photographs unlawfully to promote their product. The Deep City actress shared a post displaying 3 of her images that appeared to come from a fake Tanega King Facebook account, where the scammers are telling her followers that she has lost 19 kilograms within 2 months. And I don't have to jog or use any weights, read the imposter's caption. In response to the fake news, King wrote on Instagram that she does not endorse the company, nor does she have any affiliation with it. My Facebook page has been hacked. I'm currently not active on Facebook, wrote the former Uzalo star. And there's a weight loss product that is being sold falsely under my name, and my images are being edited and used to sell something I have nothing to do with. Please don't fall for this or any other scams on Facebook or any other social media platforms using my name and my images. I have not endorsed any weight loss products. She continued, I have nothing to do with keto gummies or any gummies for that matter. Yeah, man, which it's kind of sad, man. People identity theft, and it's very easy in this time and era to scare. And thing is, a lot of people are gullible on social media, and I feel like they tag, like in this instance, in this scenario, I know a lot of people who really want to lose weight so badly, and it really messes with their confidence, especially ladies. So yeah, man, ngapha they using Utsandega Don King as a face of something. And yeah, Maria Skubegin, in other post, she said, I have nothing to do with the brand or this product. My images have been used without my concern. Actress and comedian Tumi Morake also issued a warning to her fans about the same weight loss brand using her pictures illegally to sell their products. She wrote, warning, this is a scam. These people are using my images without my permission and are lying. I have no association with them. I've never seen this product. Ahmara. These sons of low-flying birds, Batum. Yeah, man. Yeah, just so you're aware, those are fake news, everybody. So yeah, we are done. Trending stories within the entertainment industry worldwide. It is Vago Music today in history. What happened on this very day in history, worldwide, nationally as well as internationally. Yeah, Makabona. This is Kendrick Lamar, Heart Part 5. This is a sample of a song I had played previously, Ega Marvin Gaye. Do enjoy.
As I get a little older,
VMC Planet News.
The time is now 30 minutes after 9, and here are your headlines. Emir and Mashiane Tabela. Ramaphosa confident of successfully interdicting Zuma's private prosecution. Motshekga to monitor opening of schools in Johannesburg. AfriForum condemns videos of troops burning bodies in Mozambique as war crimes. Catch your full news bulletin at 10 o'clock.
VMC Planet News.
Ingabe grade 10, grade 11 noma grade 12? Lokho akunkinga. I-VMC Academy iyakwamukela. Sinezifundo ze-IT kanye ne-media. Sine-technical support, software development, sound engineering, film and TV production, advertising kanye ne-journalism. Ukwazi kabanzi noma uthola imininingwane ethe xaxa, shayela kule nombolo 011 051 5155 011 051 5155 noma uthumele i-email kuleli kheli admin@butlarimarketing.com admin@butlarimarketing.com. VMC Academy, creating employers and employees.
Yeah, Bafit, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue in what happened today in history. Yeah, otherwise, the time is 9:30, and yala. Yeah, man. So on this day, in the year 1962, in the early 1962, Nelson Mandela was smuggled across the border of South Africa. He was granted Ethiopian passport by Haile Selassie and classified as a journalist under the name David Montsamaye, which allowed him to travel the region. On the 11th of January, made a surprise appearance on the Pan-African Freedom Movement conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Mandela's address to the conference took place a few weeks after the first sabotage attacks were committed by Umkhonto weSizwe, also known as the Spear of the Nation, also known as the MK, which was the armed wing of the African National Congress. Yeah. So in his speech, he clarified and justified the turn to the armed struggle. During the trip, Mandela received guerrilla training in Algeria before traveling to London, where he met leaders of the British opposition parties. He returned to South Africa in July, and on the 5th of August was arrested near Howick in Natal. Mandela was tried in Pretoria's old synagogue, and during this trial, he decided to conduct his own defense with Bob Hipple acting as the legal representative. He also applied for the rescue of the magistrate because, as a white person, he was already an interested party and therefore not impartial. He pointed out that he was not obligated to obey the laws of a white parliament, which did not represent him and the rest of the black South Africans. And in 1962, Mandela was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for incitement and illegally leaving the country. He served the sentence on Robben Island. While Mandela was in prison, police raided underground headquarters of the African National Congress at Lily's Leaf Farm, Rivonia, arresting, among others, Walter Sisulu, Govan Mbeki, Raymond Mhlaba, Ahmed Kathrada, Dennis Goldberg, Lionel Bernstein, and Bob Hipple. Police found documents relating to the manufacture of explosive, Mandela's diary of his African tour, and copies of a draft memorandum, Operation Maibuye, which outlined a possible strategy of a guerrilla struggle. And internationally, on this day in 1978, Song of Solomon wins National Book Critics Circle Award. So on the 11th of January 1978, Toni Morrison wins the National Book Critics Circle Award for Song of Solomon. The award brought the writer national attention for the first time, although she had already published 2 moderately successful books, and The Bluest Eye, which was released in 1969, and Sola, which was released in 1973. Morris went on to win the Pulitzer in 1988 and the Nobel Prize in Literature back in 1993. Morrison was born in Chloe Anthony Warford in the steel town of Lorain, Ohio, to a welder father and a homemaker mother. She graduated from Howard University in 1953, then took a master's in literature at Cornell. She married architect Howard Morrison and had 2 sons. After she and her husband divorced, Morrison taught English and worked as one of the very few black editors at Random House. She published her first novel in 1969. After the publication of her breakthrough novel in 1978, she published Tar Baby in 1981 and Jazz in 1992. Her 1987 novel, Beloved, the story of the 19th century enslaved woman who escapes bondage but is forced to kill her own baby, won Pulitzer. I'm gonna look for that book, Beloved. I'm gonna look for it by Morrison. Okay, so when Morrison won the Nobel Prize in 1993, she became the first African American to win the award, as well as the first American woman to win in more than 50 years. So the same year, the fire destroyed her Nyack, New York home. Fortunately, she'd left the manuscript of her next novel, Paradise, in her office in Princeton University, where she was teaching creative writing. The book, published in 1998, explored the dynamics of an all-black town in the late 1960s. Morrison died in October the 5th, 2019, and her last novel was 2015's God Help the Child. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's shy break versus so today in history just after the music interval. That was one of my favorite songs. I think that's my most favorite song by That's my most favorite song by Kaytranada. So that song features Sid, formerly known as Sid the Kid, and yeah, man, it was released in the year 2016. It's called You're the One under the album 99.9%, and yeah, that's. If you're wondering, that's a genre. It's a house. a house that originated in Chicago. So I is a Chicago house. Yes, and before that one we had Marumba Page, Wena Dali, featuring Soul Matrix as well as Dinky Kunene. Yeah, but if you're only tuning in now, unfortunately we came on the last piece of the show, the last puzzle. So I'll be quickly letting you know about history today. This is so Vala Isho. So Herero people of Southwest Africa, now Namibia, began uprising. So on this day in 1904, present-day Namibia was once a part of the Imperial German Empire, as was common during the scramble for Africa in the later half of the 19th century. The territory was claimed and occupied by expansionist European power. In the case of Germany, their rule was oppressive and indigenous cultures were gradually being destroyed. A rebellion by Herero people in the Namibian broke out in January 1904 and continued until the 31st of March 1907. The Herero people had possibly migrated earlier from the further north in Africa to settle in Namibia. Their freedom and culture became heavily restricted as German control grew on the 11th of January 1904, and the leader of the Herero, Samuel Maharero, ordered the extermination of all white people, excluding the English, Boers, Namas, Basters, Beg, Damaras, and missionaries in the German protectorate. And there is some contention regarding this order, and some researchers believe that the Herero wrote a letter with these instructions after the revolt had already begun, and all preparations for the revolt were kept secret. On the 12th of January, several hundreds mounted Herero invaded Okahanja. They killed 123 people, most of them German, and set buildings alight. The conflict rapidly escalated, and the Germans, who had escaped several farm attacks, flocked to urban areas for protection. By the 14th of January, the violence had spread as far as Omarasa, north of the Waterberg, and the Waldo and Waterberg post offices were destroyed. The Waterberg military station was occupied by Herero, and all soldiers under the command of Sergeant G. Radek Macha were killed. So Maharero, the Herero leader, allowed missionaries with a small number of German women and children free passage to Okahanja. They reached their destination on the 9th of April 1904. On the 16th of January, Gababis was besieged, and the German military company was ambushed near the area. The conflict continued, but eventually the Herero were overwhelmed, and the governor T. Lutwin was prepared to negotiate a settlement, but his government was determined to suppress the revolt with arms. And on the 11th of August, the Herero resistance was crushed, and the Herero people were scattered, and many of them died of starvation and thirst as they fled through the Omaheke desert. About 12,000 of the remaining Herero were forced to surrender and were placed in concentration camps where medical experiments as well as daily execution took place. 80% of the Herero population of Namibia was wiped out during the 1904 revolt. General von Trotha, a seasoned African campaigner, had been sent to crush the resistance, and he ordered that within the German borders, every Herero, whether armed or unarmed, with or without cattle, will be shot. I shall not accept any more women or children. I shall drive them back to their people. Otherwise, I shall order shots to be fired at them. He proceeded to poison watering holes. In a report published in London in 1918 January, Clouter of Amaruru stated under the oath that when they defeated the Herero, German soldiers killed unarmed women and children. In 2016, the German government considered making a formal apology to the Herero, but the prospect of cash reparation remains an unlikely outcome. Yeah, man. And in 2010, Meep Geese, who hid Anne Frank rather, dies at 100. So yeah, I'm not sure if you all know the story of Anne Frank. Anne Frank was that girl during, I think, World War II. Yeah, I think it was World War II. Anne Frank was a Jew who was hidden in a house, I think in the basement, for a very long time. So I just can't recall if it was Anne Frank alone or Anne Frank and a parent or a family. But yeah, so on the 11th of January 2010, Meep Geese, the last survivor of a small group of people who helped hide a Jewish girl, Anne Frank, and a family from the Nazi during the World War II, dies at the age of 100 in the Netherlands. After the Franks were discovered in 1944 and sent to concentration camp, Geese rescued the notebooks that Anne Frank left behind, describing her 2 years in hiding. These writings were later published as Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl, which became one of the most widely read accounts of the Holocaust. And Meep Geese was born into a working-class Catholic family in Vienna, Austria, on February the 15th, 1909. At the age of 11, with food shortages in her native land following World War I, she was sent to the Netherlands to live with the foster family who nicknamed her Meep. In brackets, her birth name was Hermine Sanchotzi. In 1993, she went to work as secretary for Otto Frank, who had ran a small Amsterdam company that produced a substance used to make jam. But the following year, Frank's wife and 2 daughters, Margot and Anne, had left their native Germany to join him in the Dutch capital. So in May 1940, the Germans, who had entered the World War II in September of the previous year, invaded the Netherlands and quickly made life increasingly restrictive and dangerous for the country's Jewish population. And in the early July 1942, the Frank family went into the hiding of attic apartment and behind Otto Frank's business. Yeah, so mainly in general, this was a recap of what happened to Anne Frank in the Holocaust in 1994. So yeah, otherwise the time is 9:55. Busy. I am not alone at this very moment in the studio. I am with Ibranch Breeze. Sunny Bonani guys.
Hola bathini lapho.
Ni grand la way. I feel khohlela uginya.
Yes, overspaga khona usingayenziyo.
I feel. Yeah man, otherwise see expectani ku Brunch Breeze vandag.
Yeah, as usually we'll be updating you on what is trending, and this side here. Yo, there's Andrew Umbali Mlotshwa, the ex-wife of Black Coffee. Yeah, it's trending. Yeah, it's trending. Angazi bathi homewrecker Tontoni. Yeah, but yeah, yena ke he is trending. So ke sizwe ngaye kabanzi ukuthi trenda in a good way or in a bad way, but there's bubbling drama somehow. So yeah.
Mara nami ex yami yaqava.
What?
Umbali.
Ne?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In primary.
Yeah. No, like in 2025, like it's still coming. She's going to be my ex.
In Dreamland. In Dreamland, kahle.
In real life, like now. Also by ex, yeah.
Yeah. Come to think of it, there's a friend of mine, Uproski.
Yeah.
Uproski, I think now he owes me about 2.5. Yes, me and him, we had a bet, ne?
Yeah.
So in this bet, end of the year, I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
He's going to beg Ukamompela.
Okay.
2021.
Yeah, that was 2021. I'm
Mine
only
was
thinking
2023, man.
Yeah. he wants to beg Ukamomphela.
Yeah.
So he hasn't done that. Come to think of it, I'm being owed. Broski, I'm coming for your
Lando, pay back the money.
pay back the money.
Pay back
Where's
the money.
Kamompela?
Nipecha malini kan.
Sapecha Mali, I think it was 2000. Yeah, Sapecha 2000 that is going to pay.
Yo, mali ngaka. Hey.
Just for the bang.
Hey.
And he said that unprovoked, if it like he literally said it unprovoked. What yabona this year to what
This year's in 2023.
3.
Hey, saqala nyaka, I'm giving another boy a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
So 2022
I think
was a
Valley
chance.
Show.
2022
I think
was a
Valley Show.
Yeah,
Baba yini, guys. So from me to you, from Zuko, one love, man. Bona, another dig, Sasa, same time, same place. Otherwise, I think in Sheng, ale tracky, yi laya bauti, Baba yini.